Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we've got a great little feature for you today. We've got a little button on the right hand side here. It's fixed position, so it's going to stay wherever it is when we scroll up and down the site. When you click on it, it's going to pop up a user login. And that's a nice little feature to have on your site. If I close that out, really easy to do. Now we're using the Divi Supreme Modules plugin for this today, and you will have to have the Divi Supreme Pro installed and activated to do this. If we go down to our dashboard, once you've got Divi Supreme Pro installed, go to the Supreme Pro tab right here. We've got to make sure that we've got the enable Divi pop-up extension switched to on, so it's purple like this. Once you've done that, save your changes and we're good to go. So let's go back and get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, I'm going to go down and simply delete this little module I've got here. Okay, now because we're going to put this module in a fixed position, we can put it wherever we want. But the first thing we've got to do is create a login that we can have pop up. And again, this is going to go in our library, so it doesn't matter where you put it because we're going to delete it after we saved it to our library. So I'm going to hit the little plus icon to add a new module. I'm going to go down. I'm going to find a login, and these are all modules that come as standard with the Divi theme. Put in whatever you want for your title. I'll leave the content just as it is. As you can see, this is down here at the moment. And we've got a username, password and login field over here. Now I'm not going to do anything else to this. I'm just going to save it as it is. Obviously with yours you can go over to your design and start styling it how you want. I'm going to leave mine just as my sort of generic setup right here. I'm going to hit the little save button. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this to my library. Little round icon just to the left of the trash can there, left click, and we'll give it a name and save it to the library. Great, so that's the first part taken care of. I can now trash this because it's in our library. And let's start again. Now I'm going to create the little icon that we want to have over here or wherever you want to put yours to pop up the login. So I'm going to add a new module. I'm going to use a blur purely because it's got icons with it. I don't want any title and I don't want any content. Going to go down to image and icon. I'm going to use icon, flip the little switch. And let's go down and find an appropriate icon. As it's a user login, I could either use user or users. I think I'll use that one. That's what I used before. As you can see, there it is right there. Okay, well let's go over to our design. Image and icon, that's the only thing we've got to worry about here. I'm going to circle the icon. Switch that switch to on. I'm going to make the icon white so we can see it again. Obviously you can change your circle color right here. I'm going to leave mine just as it is. I'm going to show a border as well for when it's over something that perhaps is blue. And I'm going to make the border white. The thing is fine there. I'm going to make it slightly smaller, so I'm going to use icon font size. Drag it down to the sort of size you want it. Something like that's going to work fine for me. Okay, now we've got to place it where we actually want it. To do that, let's go over to our Advanced tab, to Position, and we're going to use the fixed position for it. Down the bottom, we've got fixed, and it'll disappear. Disappear because it's up here at the moment. We've got a little grid down here. If I click on the middle right hand side, you'll see it appear over here. Now if you put it top or bottom, as you see it's down the bottom there, you've got a horizontal and vertical offset, so you can put it where you want. I'm happy with it to be pretty much in the middle, and you can use the horizontal offset right here to bring it in or out from the side a little bit more if you want to. I think that'll work right just like that. And it's a good idea to give it a high Z index just to make sure it sits on top of everything else that's going on there. Z index is the positioning of an element forward or backwards. For instance, if you have two elements and one's got a Z index of 10 and one's got a Z index of 20, the one with the Z index of 20 will always appear on top of the one with the 10. Okay, so what do we want this to do? Well, we want it to, when people click on it, we want it to pop up that little login module that we saved to our library. So what we've got to do now is just save this and refresh the page. We'll have to save the page changes, because if we don't, what we just saved to our library won't show up. Great, so let's refresh the page now we're all saved. Okay, now we're all refreshed. Let's go back to our module over here. Going to go in there, hit the little cog, and we're going to turn this into a pop-up. So I'm going to go over to Advanced, going to go to Visibility. If we scroll down a little bit, you're going to see a little button that says Use Pop-Up. We're going to switch this to on. Now, you have to remember, if you didn't do this, enable Divi Pop-Up with Divi Supreme first, you won't see that button. So make sure that you've done that and saved it, or you will not see this button. So let's switch this to on. What do we want to pop up? We want to pop up a layout. There's various options for iframes, images, videos. This extension is one of the things that sets Divi Supreme above a lot of other plugins for Divi. It really is awesome. Okay, so let's choose what we actually want to pop up. Select it for our library. That was that login that we saved, and we called it login. Should be right down the bottom here. There it is right there. And what do we want to trigger it on? Well, module click. Any time they click on this module, we want it to trigger it. You can trigger it on button if you've got a button on the module, image if you've got an image, a hyperlink if you've got a hyperlink. You can trigger it on page load to pop up when the page loads initially. When you scroll a certain amount down the page, you can trigger it that way. And those are great for all kind of advertising pop-ups. And down the bottom you've got exit intent. That means if somebody's going up to exit out of the site, you can have it pop up then. But for this today, I'm going to use the module click. Close pop-up triggers. If they click anywhere outside the pop-up, I'm going to leave mine just like that. Otherwise you can just use the close button. I'm not going to use auto close pop-up, because if you switch that to on, you can put a time in seconds or minutes and it'll close after a specific amount of time automatically. You've got all kind of entrance and exit animations, as you can see. I'm just going to leave mine on the default fade in. I quite like that. Pop-up position, center. We want it center of the screen here. I want it absolute, so if they try and scroll up and down, it's going to stay where it is. I'm not going to use full width. If we use full width, it'll show it the whole of the screen area, and you won't see the header or the footer or anything like that. Yet we'll show an overlay. It's kind of a light box effect where the background is darkened out a bit, so you're focusing on the pop-up itself. You can change the color there if you need to. Definitely going to show a close button, and we'll have it inside the module. Obviously the other option is outside. You can choose the font size, the actual icon that you use, and X is pretty standard for that. You can give it a separate background color and icon color. And that's it, we're good to go. So if I save this now, save our page changes, and exit the Visual Builder. And there we have it right there. If we scroll down the page, it's going to stay just exactly where it is. Now I'm already logged in here, so if I click on it, it's going to pop up, but it's going to tell me that I'm already logged in. So let's click on it. Yep, we're already logged in. as you can see there. So let's open it in a new incognito tab and try it there. I'm going to copy the address, Control Shift N to bring up a new incognito tab, Control V, paste that in there. And here we go. Let's try it here, and it should ask us for a username and password. There we go. So you've got a nice little customized login form there for your clients and users for your site. Really nice little feature, really easy to do. So there you go, guys. That's how to add a pop-up login form to your Divi theme using the Divi Supreme Modules plugin. I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, ring the bell and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.